Good morning. The reading this morning is our continuation of the study of Esther, and it's chapter 7 in its entirety, the first 2 verses of chapter 8 and the last 3 verses of chapter 8. So the king and Haman went to dine with Queen Esther, and as they were drinking wine on that second day, the king again asked, "Queen Esther, what is your petition? It will be given you. What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be granted." Then Queen Esther answered, If I have found favour with you, O king, and if it pleases your majesty, grant me my life. That is my petition. And spare my people. That is my request. For I and my people have been sold for destruction and slaughter and annihilation. If we were merely sold as male and female slaves, I would have kept quiet, because no such distress would justify disturbing the king. King Xerxes asked Queen Esther, "Who is he? Who is the man who would dare to do such a thing?" Esther said, "The adversary and the enemy is this vile Haman." Then Haman was terrified before the king and the queen. The king got up in a rage. He left his wine and went out into the palace garden. But Haman, realizing that the king had already decided his fate, stayed behind to plead Queen Esther for his life. But as the king returned from the palace garden to the banquet hall, Haman had fallen on the couch where Esther was reclining. The king exclaimed, "Will he even molest the queen while she is with me in this home?" As soon as the word left the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. Then Harbona, one of the eunuchs attending the king, said, "A gallows 75 feet high stands by Haman's house. He had made it for Mordecai, who spoke up to help the king." The king said, "Hang him on it." So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then the king's fury subsided. That same day, King Xerxes gave Queen Esther the estate of Haman, the enemy of the Jews. And Mordecai came into the presence of the king, for Esther had told how he was related to her. The king took off his signet ring, which he had reclaimed from Haman, and presented it to Mordecai, and Esther appointed him over Haman's estate. Mordecai left the king's presence wearing royal garments of blue and white, a large crown of gold and a purple robe of fine linen, and the city of Susa held a joyous celebration. For the Jews, it was a time of happiness and joy, gladness and honour. In every province and in every city, wherever the edict of the king went, there was joy and gladness amongst the Jews, with feasting and celebrating. And many people of other nationalities became Jews because fear of the Jews had seized them. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.